Malaysia manages to reduce COVID-19 infectivity rate. Government urges employers to allow work from home. Good evening. Thank you for joining us. You're watching News at 10. I'm Cynthia Arthur. Malaysia has successfully reduced the COVID-19 infectivity rate, or R0, from 2.2 at the start of the third wave to between 1.3 to 1.5 now. In a special press conference today, Health Director General Tan Sri Dr. Noor Hisham Abdullah said the infection rate was lower than the starting level of the second wave, which was 3.5.
Gelombang ketiga wabak COVID-19 di Malaysia ini sememangnya lebih mencabar walaupun kita lebih bersedia daripada segi kapasiti dan tindakan kesihatan awam yang dijalankan. Nilai R pada permulaan gelombang ketiga iaitu pada 20 September 2020 adalah 2.2 iaitu R0 gelombang ketiga kita memula dengan 2.2. Tetapi dalam tempoh 4 minggu, ia telah pun diturunkan kepada 1.5. Jadi di antara 1.3 hingga 1.5. Ini bermakna setakat ini, usaha yang dijalankan telah berjaya mengelakkan daripada peningkatan kes secara mendadak seperti dalam graf unjuran ini, iaitu garis R iaitu bersamaan 2.2.
Tan Sri Dr. Noor Hisham had earlier shown the three possible scenarios of projected trajectories of daily COVID-19 cases involving different values of R0. He said if the R0 value stayed at 2.2, the number of infections could be more than 1,000 a day. Stressing the need to break the chain of infection, the Health DG said Malaysians must help the country by staying at home, as it was the most effective way to control the spread of COVID-19 in the community. Meanwhile, Malaysia recorded 7 new deaths from COVID-19 today, a peak previously reached on the 29th of March. According to Tan Sri Dr. Noor Hisham, the country also reached another record daily high of new cases at 871. He added that local transmission comprised 866 of the total reported cases, while the remaining 5 cases were imported. Despite recording a record high number of cases, the Health DG also said 701 individuals have recovered, the highest recorded daily recoveries to date. Tan Sri Dr. Noor Hisham also confirmed today that a total of 4 new COVID-19 clusters have emerged. The Bah Layangan cluster involving Labuan and Rembau in Negeri Sembilan has 13 positive cases so far. In Seberang Perai, Penang, he said authorities uncovered what it called the Alma cluster, which has 7 cases. Another cluster, dubbed the Auto cluster, has been found in the Petaling district, Kuala Langat and Klang. The Health DG said 8 cases have been linked to the cluster. The 4th cluster, he said, is the Kepayan Prison cluster in Kota Kinabalu, which involves 49 cases. As of 18th October, the country has 85 active clusters. From the 85 clusters still active, Tan Sri Dr. Noor Hisham said 31 clusters have seen an increase in cases. The Targeted Enhanced Movement Control Order, TEMCO, at the Alor Star Prison in Kedah has been extended. Initially slated to end at midnight, Senior Minister Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri Yaakob today announced a 14-day extension until the 1st of November. The senior minister said the decision to further lengthen the TEMCO period was to monitor the COVID-19 situation in the facility due to the rise in cases. He said a special National Security Council (MKN) meeting made the decision following a request by the Kedah State Government, Kedah MKN, as well as on the advice of the Health Ministry.
Kita tahu kluster penjara, itu kluster tembok, kluster benteng merupakan penyumbang besar, mungkin terbesar di dalam jumlah kes COVID positif di negara kita. Jadi pelaksanaan PKPD adalah untuk membendung jangkitan dan penularan COVID-19 di dalam kawasan tersebut, di dalam kawasan penjara, serta bagi membolehkan aktiviti pengesanan kes secara bersasar dilaksanakan.
Until yesterday, 1,178 positive COVID-19 cases had been detected in the prison, involving 1,137 detainees as well as 41 prison staff. Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri also reaffirmed that employees are currently allowed to move about for work purposes and to go to their offices under the Conditional Movement Control Order CMCO. On the 3 new clusters in the Klang Valley, as a result of infection in the workplace, he said the issue would be brought to a special meeting of the National Security Council MKN, chaired by Prime Minister Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin, for further discussion. However, until the new action is announced, the senior minister hopes that employers can allow their employees to work from home.
Kita memohon daripada majikan-majikan supaya membenarkan pekerja-pekerja ini bekerja daripada rumah. Tapi sekarang sudah berlaku kes seperti ini. Saya akan bawa di dalam mesyuarat khas ataupun sidang khas MKN yang dipengerusikan oleh Yang Amat Perdana Menteri yang bersidang setiap hari untuk kita bawa kes ini ke dalam mesyuarat tersebut supaya mesyuarat boleh membuat keputusan.
In the same press conference streamed live from his home, the senior minister also announced that the police yesterday arrested 661 individuals for failure to comply with the RMCO, also noting that yesterday was the 130th day of the RMCO. Out of the 661 individuals arrested yesterday, he said 632 were issued compounds or fined, while 27 were remanded and 2 were released on bail. Failure to wear face masks in public topped the list of SOP offences, with 223 people falling foul of the regulations. Other offences include failure to adhere to physical distancing, failure to provide registration facilities at premises, illegal operation of entertainment outlets, premises operating after permitted hours, and several other offences. Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri also said that since the implementation of Ops Benteng in May this year, 497 illegal immigrants and 28 tekong were arrested throughout Sarawak.
Bagi kawalan daratan, sebanyak 6 operasi dilaksanakan, iaitu Ops Awas atau Keris Parang, Ops Kerangka, Ops Suluh Kenyalang, Ops Jaga Kawan, Ops Awas atau Batas, dan Ops Benteng. PGA juga turut mengadakan kawalan di 11 pos tetap dan 29 pos baru di lokasi-lokasi tambahan bagi Ops Benteng. Bagi Ops Benteng, di darat, sebanyak 6 SJR Sekatan Jalan Raya telah dilaksanakan, iaitu di Lundu, Bau, Padawan, Sirian, Seri Aman dan Lubuk Antu. Pemantauan parti juga turut dilaksanakan di lorong-lorong tikus yang telah dikenal pasti.
Sabah Chief Minister Datuk Seri Haji Muhammad Noor was discharged from the hospital, having fully recovered from COVID-19 infection. In a statement from the Sabah Chief Minister's office, it was confirmed that both Datuk Seri Haji and his wife, Datin Seri Julia Salag, were allowed to be discharged from Hospital Queen Elizabeth in the state capital, Kota Kinabalu, this morning. According to the statement, the Chief Minister expressed worry about the increase of COVID-19 cases in Sabah and had said that the state government is doing its best to curb the spread of the virus. Most importantly, he said, the public must be disciplined, cooperative and always comply with standard operating procedures (SOPs) set by the government. According to the Chief Minister's office, Datuk Seri Hajiji also thanked Sabah Health Director Datuk Dr. Christina Rundi, Hospital Queen Elizabeth Director Dr. William Gotulis, Hospital Queen Elizabeth's Infectious Diseases Unit Chief Dr. Lee Heng Gee, and the specialist doctors and nurses who had treated both him and his wife. Datuk Seri Hajiji was on the 8th of October reported to be undergoing a 14-day quarantine after coming into contact with COVID-19 patients. He was on the 9th of October reported as having tested positive for COVID-19 and seeking treatment at Hospital Queen Elizabeth. For COVID-19 flood management is in progress. Existing close ties between Malaysia and Saudi Arabia reached a new milestone after both nations agreed to establish a high-level strategic committee to strengthen cooperation across various fields of mutual interest. The high-level strategic committee will be chaired jointly by Foreign Minister Datuk Seri Hishamuddin Tun Hussein and his Saudi counterpart Prince Faisal bin Farhan Al Saud. Besides increasing joint efforts in the fight against COVID-19 pandemic, Datuk Seri Hishamuddin in a statement today said the committee would also focus on post-pandemic era cooperation between the two nations. He said among the issues to be tackled by the committee were how to ensure the economic recovery of both countries, stabilizing food security and reinvigorating the disrupted supply chains. He added that the committee would also allow for early discussions to be held with regards to issues surrounding Malaysians intending to perform the Hajj or Umrah next year. This includes, he said, discussions on the quota for the Hajj and Umrah and the standard operating procedures (SOP) for those performing these pilgrimages if allowed before COVID-19 vaccine is discovered. While no final decision has been made by Saudi Arabia regarding the Hajj and Umrah, Datuk Seri Hishamuddin said that it is crucial that both countries are better prepared once a decision is made in the future. The government is making the necessary procurement for flood management, including those required by workers to curb the spread of COVID-19 during the monsoon season, which is between November and March. Minister in the Prime Minister's Department, Datuk Seri Muhammad Redwan Mat Yusof, said the procurement included the purchase of new assets such as boats, four-wheel drive vehicles, food items, tents and personal protective equipment, PPE. The minister said the government also had drawn up regulations and standard operating procedures (SOPs), including the requirement for use of PPE by workers who will be involved in rescue mission and evacuation of flood victims as a measure to curb the spread of COVID-19. In observing the prescribed SOP and new norms, he said, the number of flood victims at relief centres will be limited to ensure physical distancing among the evacuees. On the number of workers to be involved in the flood management, he said there would be enough as the staff of agencies and departments under the various ministries would also be mobilized for the task. Three people, including a married couple, were killed in an accident after the cars they were travelling in collided into each other at kilometre 88 of Jalan Ipoh, Kuala Lumpur today. The deceased have been identified as Muhammad Tahir Junus, 64, and his wife Nur Aini Muhammad Sam, 56, from Tanjung Malim, and Muhammad Ridwan Ismail, 22, from Teluk Intan. Tapah District Police Chief Superintendent Wan Azharuddin Wan Ismail said the couple who was travelling in a Proton Saga were killed on the spot, while the driver of the other vehicle, a Perodua Myvi, was pronounced dead upon arrival at the Slim River Hospital. He said initial investigation revealed that the accident occurred at 11:40 a.m. when the Perodua Myvi driver who was heading to Teluk Intan from Subang Jaya, Selangor, lost control of his vehicle and entered the opposite lane before ramming into the Proton Saga. According to Superintendent Wan Azharuddin, the couple was killed on the spot after they were both pinned to their seats due to the impact. He said the vehicles involved were taken to Puspakom for further checks and the families have been informed of the incident. He added that the bodies were taken to the Slim River Hospital for post-mortem and the police are still investigating this case. The police have opened an investigation paper over a seditious statement involving a man in a video recording which viraled on social media recently. Bukit Aman CID Director Datuk Huzir Mohamad said the 1 minute 33 seconds video had an inclination for sedition against the Malay rulers and government. In a statement today, Datuk Huzir said the man was identified as N. Ganesparan, 38. An investigation conducted found the man is abroad since November 2017. The suspect is also wanted over 3 other cases related to threat and instigation. The case is being investigated under Section 4, Subsection 1 of the Sedition Act 1948 for inciting hatred or contempt against any king or government and Section 233 of the Communications and Multimedia Act 1998 for improper use of network facilities or network services. He added the police will take firm action under the provisions of the law against any party which seeks to threaten public order and national security. Police will raid Hizbut Tahrir Malaysia HTM centres in the state soon. Johor Police Chief Dato' Ayub Khan Maidin Pichai said the police would work closely with the Johor Islamic Religious Department JINJ for this purpose and has identified 45 out of 80 HTM followers in the state and their leader Salahuddin Mashkuri.
Saya akan memastikan Jabatan Agama mengambil tindakan tegas. Tidak ada lagi amaran sebagainya, tuan-tuan. So, kalau nak keluar statement lain kali, tuan-tuan bagi tahu kat Hizbut Tahrir, tanda tangan. Suruh dia punya presiden tanda tangan. Jangan hanya sekadar tulis Pusat Media Hizbut Tahrir Malaysia. Kalau ada keberanian lah.
He told reporters after the monthly assembly at the Johor Contingent Police Headquarters today. Dato' Ayub was commenting on a statement uploaded on HTM's official website yesterday, which claimed that the State Islamic Religious Affairs Committee Chairman Tosrin Jarvanthi and the Johor Police Chief had slandered HTM as contradicting Islam. Dato' Ayub said there was no issue of slander as his statement was made based on the state fatwa, which was issued with consent from the Sultan of Johor, Sultan Ibrahim Almarhum Sultan Iskandar. This evening's news at 10. In our top story, Malaysia manages to reduce COVID-19 infectivity rate. Join us again at 12:30 tomorrow afternoon. I'm Cynthia Arthur. Stay tuned to Saluran Berita RTM and have a pleasant evening.